ones that I have just mentioned. All right. And so you are all welcome once again. It sets the tone for research methods NURS 379. My name is Christa Osei Mensah from the Faculty of Health Sciences. And so I am going to be the chief learner for the semester for the course NURS 379. This is a learning field. We are all learning. We are all trying to get to know things and to know each other. Give us free access. Give everybody the opportunity to ask their questions, to do contributions without intimidation. There are some of us, when people are asking questions, they think that they should stop asking questions so we can close. This is a learning environment. And so as we come here, we try as much as possible to get or to grasp whatever is being imparted onto us. And so we need a very serene atmosphere. The platform, whenever delivery is going on, we should be able to be quiet. And so anytime I am teaching, I will mute everybody and deny you access of talking. And then when it is time for you to talk, to ask your questions or to answer any question, the platform will be open. You have access to do so. And so on that note, I set the teaching rolling. And so if you can see the slide that I have projected, just show or just raise your hand if you can see the slides that I have projected. Just raise your hand so I know the number of participants who can see the slides: 80, 82, 83, 88, 90, 91. Okay, so it means that a lot of us can see the screen. Thank you. You can lower your hand. You can lower your hand. Thank you very much. You can lower your hand. So the course is NURS 379, Introduction to Research Methods. Introduction to Research Methods. And so learners are of the view that research is difficult. Most at times, when students hear or when learners hear the word research methods, I believe when some of you came and registered research method, it's like, oh, this thing. And so students, learners are of the view that research is difficult and technical. And most of the time, they believe and think that understanding research at the BSc level and carrying out good research work is impossible to most of the students. But you hold on to that thought and let's go through the course to see whether it is difficult or not. So this course basically introduces you to the fundamentals It introduces you to the fundamentals of research, such that it will help you, the learner, in writing your research project in partial fulfillment of a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing, and also help you in future research. Even though you'll be writing exams, don't focus on exams alone, but focus on future endeavors, such as being able to write a project work in partial fulfillment of your degree, and then afterwards. And so, as part of the course, based on the center you belong to, Keta, Kofredua, Kumasi, Asankregwa, Odan, Tamale, Takrade, Wa, based on the center you find yourself, you have to pair. It's in groups of 2. It's in groups of 2. You do that not because this person is your friend, but you do that based on your research interest. Everyone has an interest area when it comes to research. And so you look for that one person who also have the same interest area, and then you team up with the person. Then you identify the bigger research problem with regards to your interest area. Then you derive a topic from it, and then based on the topic, an outline will be given to you for you to write a research proposal, paired research proposal, which will be submitted at the end of the semester, the tail end of the semester. You will submit it electronically. It means that you will submit it through an email that will be given to you in the course of the semester. It comes with a deadline, and please respect deadlines. That is the course work, and it is part of your continuous assessment. You realize that before we started the work, the course, groups have been assigned. Yes, people don't have groups, and so they will be given the opportunity to get into groups. They will be given groups. And so when you have the group, a preamble in the form of a research problem will be assigned to groups. And then you will derive a topic based on how you understand the preamble, and then the subsequent questions that you are supposed to answer will be added. Then you will do a presentation as I am doing online. The modalities will be given to you. You do a presentation. When that time comes, you have access to sharing your slide, and one member will do the presentation on behalf of the group members. But because of network, we will allow you to have one main facilitator and 2 standby ones, so that when the main facilitator goes off as a result of network, the other 2, any one of them can present on behalf of the group or continue from where the main presenter stopped. And so that is a group work. That is why you have been assigned to a group. You belong to this group for my course, Research Methods. If you decide to use this group for any of your courses, that is okay by me. But this is my group. And so those of you who don't have a group will be assigned a group by the close of the week, so you know your group, so that you can prepare when the preamble is given. Then there can also be class work, or there will be class work. We will come here and then you go back into your groups. There's also another way of doing that. That one, the rooms will be opened and you yourself will manually go into your group because you know your group. And then you will do class work and present it in class. My aim is that I don't want you to do theoretical aspects of the research alone, but you should try your hands on the research. That is why I have activities here for us to do. What are your expectations? You have come to school, you've seen research methodology, and so what are your expectations? What are your expectations as a research student? Tell me your expectations. Tell me your expectations. I've given you access, so you raise your hand so that we won't get distortions. So what are your expectations? Any expectations you brought here? Yes, Ahiable.
Hello, sister. Please, my expectation is by the end of this course, research course, I'll be able to pick a research topic on my own, research on it, and publish officially. That's my expectation.
Okay, Asliga.
My expectation is for you to be able to break it down to the simplest form for my understanding, and at the end of the day, I should be able to apply what I have learned.
Ebenezer.
Okay, so my expectation is
Wait. Now go on rehearsal, so yeah, taking through.
Ebenezer.
Madam, thank you. So my expectation is that at the end of the course, I should be able, or I would be able to write on problems I identify in the community and in the nursing fraternity or at the world as a nurse, and then find amicably solutions to them.
Belinda.
Okay, ma'am, please, my expectations are to be able to understand this course very well and to conduct my own research. Thank you.
Al-Hassan. Azizu.
My expectation is to get the understanding of the course, be able to identify a problem in the society and be able to carry out a research on that. Thank you.
All right, I believe that all of us have some expectation, one expectation or the other, but we might not be able to voice it out here. And so at the end of the semester, we will be able to meet our expectation. And so, we move on. So, I expect that at the end of the semester, you should be able to demonstrate knowledge and understanding of research methods, which is evidenced by your ability to identify and critique one research definition, discuss the differences in the various research definitions. You should be able to describe the research process, which is evidenced by your ability to identify a research problem, derive a research topic from the problem, and then be able to write a research proposal. Then demonstrate evidence of knowledge by searching for appropriate literature. And so you should be able to search for literature, related literature from all the various sources, and then you should be able to critically explain the types of research methodology. So you should be able to differentiate between the two types of research methodology, discuss the importance of research methodology, differentiate between probability and non-probability sampling method, and also enumerate the various sampling techniques. Then you should be able to collect and analyze data in a meaningful way, evidenced by your ability to design a research tool, collect data, analyze the data that you have collected, and interpret the data you have collected. And finally, you should be able to write a good research report based on recommended outline. And so you should be able to write your research, your project work, you should be able to write it by yourself, and then should also be able to cite and reference authors that you have used. So this course will focus on 6 units, as you have already known or seen in your course outline. And so the 6 units have 6 sessions under each unit, and therefore we are going to do 36 sessions. 36 sessions by the end of the semester. The unit 1 talks about the introduction to research itself, where we try to define research, look at the types of research, discuss the importance of the research, and then look at nursing and midwifery research. The unit 2 will look at the research process, where we'll talk about the identification of the research problem and the topic, the justification and the problem statement, the purpose and objective of the research, limitations and delimitations of the study, and proposal. And so when we finish unit 2, then we will have the group presentation before we proceed to unit 3. And then when we finish unit 3, we will add on to our group presentation. And then when we finish 4, we also add on to the group presentation. And so unit 3 is the literature review. We will learn how to search for theoretical and then empirical literature. And so we look at the sources of literature review, how to search for them, and then challenges in reviewing literature. And then we finish it up with writing literature review. Then with the unit 4, it takes us through the research method itself. And so it will discuss the 2 main types of research method, talk about critical issues in research method. Ethics is very important in research. And so we have a discussion on ethical issues in research. And then we also deal with sampling and sampling techniques in research. Then the unit 5 will take us through data collection and analysis, how to collect data for both qualitative and the quantitative method, how to analyze the 2 methods, data collected, how to analyze quantitative as well as qualitative methods. And then finally, the unit 6, we will discuss writing research reports. So we'll discuss about the various chapters and end with referencing and citation. I know people have a lot of misunderstanding, misconceptions, fears about research. Let us pause and talk about some of the misunderstandings and the fears and misconceptions when it comes to research. Let us talk about it, and then we move on. Anybody to set the ball rolling? What are some of the misconceptions that you have heard regarding research? What are your fears? What are the myths that you've heard regarding research? I've given you access, so you raise your hand, you are called, and then you tell us if you have any. If you have any. Yes, I hear Blair.
Okay.
Yeah, sister. They normally say doing research is you have to get a lot of money and sponsors before you do research. That's one of the things that I've heard about research. And also, if you don't have the means of doing it, it will be difficult for you to do so.
Any other? Okay, if there are none, we can move on. Any other? Please, I deal with human beings, and so I don't know who is called Wakrin Zoom. Please. And so forgive me if you are not called, because I'm dealing with humans. Yes, Kaliona. I hope I've mentioned it well. If not, you can correct me. Yes, your hand is up. Your hand is up. Please unmute yourself and talk. Or maybe you don't know your hand is up. All right, let's move on. Then my work will not be difficult because you don't have any misconceptions. And so we move on. So we are looking at the first unit. Wherever we reach in the first unit, we can close. I am back again. Frank, you are late. We cannot wait for you till eternity. Please, you saw research methods. What came into your mind? In your own way, what is research method? In your own way, your own definition. If somebody meets you and then the person asks you, what is research? What will you tell the person? Williams, Nanatando. Okay, I've given you access. Yes, Williams.
Okay. No, madam, please, for me, I understand research methods as the process or the procedures that are used in collection of data, analyzing of the data in order to solve a problem or create an awareness about a particular situation.
Thank you. Ahiable.
Okay, sister. In my own way, I would say research is a systemic way of identifying problems and finding a solution to it by gathering information.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Wilfred, Winifred.
In my own understanding, research is also the same. A way of identifying problems in a community or among a group of people, getting is gathering information and data about how the problem came about and ways of solving the problem.
Okay, Daniel.
In my own way, I will say that it is the way there are proved ways of identifying a problem and collecting data and analyzing it to come out with a solution in order to solve that specific problem.
Thank you, Anita.
Okay, madam, to my understanding, research is making an information and fact about it.
Okay, Ibrahim.
Please, I will define research as the various means we follow to find a problem and then solve it and come out with a presentation about it.
Okay, Enoch. Azizu.
Please, madam, I will define research in my own ways as a way to probe into a study or investigate into a study in a way that will help you establish a fact so that you can draw your conclusions to your findings.
Okay, Frederick. Please, when you raise your hand, pay attention so that when you are called, you can do the needful. We also have time. We have to watch the time as well. Yes, Aziliga.
Madam, research is the process of identifying a problem and solving it by using data.
Okay. Kaliona.
Yes, Ma. My definition for research is a systemic way of identifying a problem and then collecting of data and analyzing it to solve that problem. Thank you.
Okay, Eric. Hamdia.
It's a method of collecting and analyzing data. It's a method of collecting and analyzing data. And common methods that are used include survey, the use of questionnaires, experiments, and interviews. Thank you.
Okay, Derek. So we have Derek, we have Atosa, we have Frederick, we have Daniel and Rose. Then we are done. We have Daniel and Rose. Then we are done.
Okay, Derek. Research means something that has already been searched for, and we are to research. So it is the use of the research is the use of scientific methods, collecting data, to analyze the data, to get solution, to identify a problem, a specific problem, and get specific solutions to it.
Okay, thank you. So Frederick, Daniel, and Rose. Then we are done.
Sister, please. When we say research method is a systematic process through which an identified problem
Rose.
Please, I understand research to be a systematic way of finding a problem, solving it, and making a presentation on it.
Okay, thank you all. And so we move. Let's also look at something. Portia in the chat says that is steps taken to find information about an issue or problem and possible solutions. And so, according to a sociologist, L. Robert Barbie, he said that research is the systematic inquiry to describe. So is first of something which is systematic. It follows an orderly sequence. It follows a laid down structure. And so you are going to inquire, and thus you can describe, you can explain, you can predict and control an observed phenomenon. And according to him, it can be done either inductively or deductively, or both. And so, if you want to understand the word inductive, we are saying that inductive research methods are those that are used to analyze an observed event. And the deductive ones are used to verify an observed event. Now, if you can see the chart that I have just displayed, inductive research begins with a research question. And so it begins with an observation. You are in the children's ward. You are in the pediatric ward. You are in the medical ward. You are in the surgical ward. You are in the surgical ward, and you've realized that people after abdominal surgery come with infections. And so this observation is worrisome to you, and you have been asking yourself so many questions. How does these wounds get infected? Why do they come back with infections? You try to even find solutions within you, and it keeps the solutions even comes, still pops up questions. And so you have observed something, you've seen patterns, and so you have a tentative hypothesis. We will talk about some of these things in the near future. So sometimes you need to hold on to the thought. This is an introduction phase. And so with inductive research, you begin with a research question, and then you collect empirical data and use it to generate hypotheses or theories. That is why we said observed, you analyze observed phenomenon. With deductive research, you verify, and so this hypothesis that you have is it usually starts with hypothesis, and so you with this hypothesis guides you. It guides you to collect the data so as to either accept the hypothesis or reject the hypothesis. But so realize that when you look at the inductive, the arrow starts from downwards to upwards. So there is observation, you've seen a pattern, you have tentative hypothesis, and there is theory. With deductive, the arrow starts from up. There is theory, you have a hypothesis, you have an observation, and you confirm. That is why we said that the deductive is verification of an event, and the inductive is analyzing the observed events. Analyzing the observed event. We can also say that research is a systematic, logic, and empirical inquiry. Systematic in the sense that you start from the bigger picture where there is a big problem. You try to ask yourself so many questions. Then you derive a topic from the bigger picture. So you have narrowed the problem to a simple topic. Then you talk about how you are going to measure this. So you have your research questions there. How am I going to measure this? And so you set your main and your specific objective. And then you think about literature. Then you think about the method that you are going to use. And then you design your tool. So it's systematic, it's orderly. And so from this, we go here, we go there, and we go there, systematic. And there should be a logical flow. And so you cannot just tell me that my first thing is that I need objective. You need a research problem. When the time comes for you, right from now up till the end of the semester, before you submit your paired proposal, you see a lot of students going about saying that, hey, they need a research topic. You don't need a research topic from anywhere. You have to look at your surroundings, look at your environment where you work, because the research is going to empower the profession, the nursing profession. And so you need to look at things that are perplexing, things that are confusing, things that are challenging, and needs that something to be done in the global, the broader sense, and then you narrow it down. And so whilst you do that, you realize that there is a logic flow. There should be a logic flow. And then with empirical inquiry, you are telling me that people at the surgical ward, when they are discharged, they come back with wound infections. So what is the magnitude of the problem? That is the empirical inquiry I'm looking for. What is the magnitude of the problem? Out of how many of these surgical cases come back infected? And so much as you are talking about your problem, you should also be thinking about the evidence, the empirical evidence that you are going to use to back up your problem. And so as you do that, you come out at the end of it all to produce a verifiable knowledge. The reason why we are doing this research, the reason why you are doing the research that you have, the reason why you are doing the topic is at the end of the day, as you've gone through the logical flow, as you've gone through the processes, as you've gone through your topic, you have your problem, you have your topic, you have your objective, you have your research questions, you have the way you are going to conduct the methodology, you have your study research tools, you have analyzed your data. The report that you are going to write should produce a verifiable knowledge. So at the end of it, or if you set out to look at factors that contribute to surgical wound infections, then when you finish, you should be able to tell us whether factor 1 or factor 2 or factor 3 makes people susceptible of getting surgical wound infections. And so that is what we talked about, to produce verifiable knowledge. And so research is carried out to systematically, it is carried out systematically in an attempt to find answers to new problems. New problems like the COVID-19 that reared its head, or any new conditions that have surfaced in your workplace. You conduct research to find answer for the new problem. There are existing problems, so many problems that people are still researching into, but they don't understand these problems. They don't have answers to these problems. And so you can also conduct research to understand existing problems. Why is surgical wound infection still high in the surgical ward? Then you can also simply delve into the unknown as a result of mere curiosity. You just want to know more. Nothing is chasing you, nothing is challenging for you, but you just want to know more. Then there is also some challenging situation and you are interested in delving deep into it. Or sometimes you have the test or the quest for adding new knowledge, or you want to broaden your perspective, you want to have more information and so about something, and so you do that. And so we will say that, or we are right if we say that most of the time research is problem-oriented. It starts from or is prompted by a question or a problem for which an answer is being sought. And so you sit in your little corner and you ask yourself so many questions. Why? Who is involved? Where is this coming from? Why are we experiencing this condition among the youth these days? How is it happening? What can we do about this? Where is this coming from? And so research helps you to seek answers and discover cutting-edge questions such as the who is involved, the what is involved, the where, the when, the why, and then the how. And so when you're able to go through a systematic approach in your research, going through the rudiments of the research, it helps you to link the theory things, the theoretical things, the theories behind research, the education you have acquired concerning a certain condition, and the practices that you are doing. And so we say that research, it makes the research faces reality with the real world. And so when you sit in your one corner and then you conduct a research as to the factors that contribute to wound infection, or as to why people get their wounds infected, then you know that this is the reality. And as we said, that research is done to describe, to explain, to predict and control. You can get answers based on whatever you have done. And so as you move along, you understand what basic research is and what an applied research is. And so one gives you the knowledge base and the other is conducted so as to implement solutions. Any questions at this point? Any clarifications? Any questions? Any contributions at this point? Any questions at this point? I've unmuted you, and so you raise your hand, and then you are given the opportunity to ask your question. Any questions at this point? Yes, Collins Daniel.
Madam, please, I don't get the definition of research according to L. Robert. I don't get that point clear.
He
You gave
said that it is a systematic something which can be taken from either the inductive approach or deductive approach of research. And so which part didn't you get it well? Daniel Collins, which part didn't you get it well? Which part didn't you get it well, Daniel?
Madam, please, I'm cool with everything. It was a mistake.
Okay. Oh, but who said he didn't get the L. Roberts definition? Are you not the one?
No, please.
Hey, so who said that? Please come out and let's see if you have been, your problem has been solved. Nicholas?
Hello. Good morning, sister. Yeah,
Please, Nicholas, we greeted ourselves long time ago, so we are not accepting greetings.
Okay. My question is, for instance, if I have an interest in, let's say, maternal health or child health, but then I'm working at the surgical ward, or well, it's not maybe at the hospital setting, but maybe it's in the public space. Is it allowed to do a research topic on that area, or it should specifically be inclined towards the ward?
What happens is that I normally encourage students to do things that will empower their profession. You are interested in maternal issues. I'll give it to the midwives and public health. But if the child, yes, because you can also look at pediatrics, isn't it? So why not? Even in your spare moments, why not? You can do things. It's an interest. It's just that whatever you are doing, have it at the back of your mind that you are also building your specialty. And so which area? So if you are interested in maternal issues and child issues, maybe for now you are at the surgical ward. Who knows? You might be posted to your right interest. And so why not? But I don't encourage nurses to be looking at, let's say, these maternal strictly. When I say strictly maternal issues, like maybe pregnancy issues, I don't encourage nurses to do. But at least for contraceptives and some of the things, which is a little more of, let's say, public health and midwifery, fine. But going strictly to, let's say, pregnancy and pregnancy-related issues, I don't encourage you, because you are going to empower one profession where yours is also there. And so you can be an authority in, yes, maternal issues that are not strictly into pregnancy issues. Why not? It's allowed.
Okay, thank you. So if for instance, I have wound infection in my area, but not at the hospital, I realize that most people who lives in my area are affected with wound infections also. Can I do the research in the community?
Oh yes, community-based research. Oh yes, you can. Why not? You can. You see, when I say in your interest area, some can be community-based, some can be facility-based. It's just that most of you students, community-based researches, you dodge from community-based researches, and most of the time you are concentrating on facility researches, because with community-based research, having the sample and then the sampling technique normally is a bit cumbersome. That is why a lot of students shy away from community-based studies, but then is allowed. Why not?
Okay, thank you, sister.
Do that. You're welcome. Rahina too. Rahina too, your hand is up.
Yes, please. I wanted to find out if, in case a question is asked, what is research? Are you to go by dito
Who is
of
going to ask you a question? What is research at this level? My dear, the what is research you are going to be applying. That's why you are doing a lot of discussions, so you understand it. At this level, what is research? You don't need what is research. You need the what is research to be able to apply or to know that whatever you are doing is on track. And even with that, nobody is going to ask you what is research, but a definition can be quoted, and then you can be asked who said this. But what is research there? I don't think I've ever asked them before.
Okay, thank you so much.
Can you do research? Enoch is asking, can you do research without a solution? I don't understand the question, but I believe that you think that when you are doing research, there should be a solution. Research is research. You are now going to find facts. And so after you found the facts, that is where recommendations come in. That is where you recommend also for future research for people to do something. And so as you move along, you realize that there are types of researches that you can do. And so the type that you do determines what it entails. And so if Nicholas is going into the community to conduct research to determine factors in the community factors that contribute to surgical wound infections, he's just going to get the factors. He's not going to solve any problem. He's just going out there to get the factors, the community factors that contribute to surgical wound infections. And so that is what he's going to do. He's not going to find solutions. He's going to find the factors that contribute to it. And so when the person finds the factors that contribute to it, maybe in the course of the person's data collection, the person can ask, so based on all these that you have said, what do you think can be done to solve the problem? The person tells you, you don't go to solve problem. When you are going to solve problem, it is called implementation research. I don't want to jump. That is why I am staying in the introduction. I want to take it bit by bit so people don't get confused. And so basically you are there. It depends on the type of research you are doing. If somebody is going to do implementation research, it means that the observational aspect has been done already. And so this person is taking interventions into the community or wherever the person is going to give the solution. So please, let's not mess them up. It's up. I hear your hand is up.
Sister, please, I would like to ask if in the research, can someone just do the research and find a problem and another person continue with the solution finding? Or
I am not hearing you, please.
I'm asking about if someone can do a research to find a fact or problem about something and another person continuing to
That is what we
implement or
basically do.
get a solution to it.
That is why people recommend for further research. As we go through it, you understand that we have observational research and you have experimental research. The observational research, you don't do anything. You find the facts. The basic research, you find facts to add to knowledge base. And then the applied research is where people are solving issues. Implementation research, people are solving issues. People are intervening. And so, yes, you can, because you can go and actually have a topic, knowledge of hepatitis B among market women. You are just going to determine their knowledge and you're not doing anything. So after the determination of the knowledge, if you think that they lack knowledge or they are deficient in some area with regards to the knowledge, that is where a recommendation is made to do something about it. And somebody can also take it as a project and do that something about it. So yes, it is allowed. Nicholas. Nicholas, your hand is up. Okay. So the reason why the platform has also been created is that you can also ask questions on the WhatsApp platform, and then I will also take time to address that in my free moment. And so people like academics, students like you, government and commercial organizations and consultants and managers are all involved in research. And so the types of research can be categorized in the following perspectives. We are looking at types of research in perspectives, in different or from different angles. You can look at it from the application of the study. You can look at it from the aim of the research. You can look at it from the mode of inquiry, and you can also look at it from the research approach. And so if you are looking at it from or according to the application perspective, we are talking about basic research and applied research. These two will answer most of the questions that are running in your head, in your thoughts. Then, according to the aims of the research, you can conduct a descriptive research, explanatory research, or an analytical research. If it is according to mode of inquiry, then you can look at the quantitative research or qualitative research. These two are the major research methods. And so you can look at it from the quantitative point or the qualitative viewpoint. The interesting thing is that when we get to the unit 4, I think we will break the quanti and quali down for you to really understand what is expected from you. These are methods that you can use, but sometimes you have a nice topic, but you use the wrong methodology and you might not get the in-depth thing that you want. And so we will talk about it. Then we have the research according to the aims of the research approach. So realize that we started from the research application. We started from the research, the application perspective, where you can do a basic research or applied research. We talked about the aims of the research, where the research can be descriptive, it can be exploratory, it can be explanatory, it can be analytical research. Then it can be according to the mode of inquiry, where we can talk about the quantitative research and qualitative research. Then it can be according to the aims of the research approach. So you can conduct a longitudinal research, a cross-sectional research, a conceptual research, and an empirical research. And so one will ask, what is basic research? If you are looking at it from the application perspective, what is basic research? Basic research can also be known as theoretical research, or conducted to increase knowledge. And most of the time, this is what you do. At the BSc level, almost everybody goes into basic research to increase knowledge. Because if you look at all, you conduct a study on factors contributing to community-based infections, or community factors influencing infections, surgical wound infections in the community, you are increasing knowledge. You are increasing knowledge. You are telling us the factors. You are telling us what we should know, or sometimes we even know already. And so the results of the basic research or the primary research are also used as a base of applied research. And so most of the basic researches are published in the peer-reviewed journals. And so applied research is conducted to find solutions for practical problems. So somebody has conducted a basic research, and so pop up, and so we need solutions. We need solutions. And so applied research helps us to find solutions for you see, the emphasis is on practical problems. Sometimes some of the problems are not practical. And so the results are also applied. And so these includes the case studies and then experimental research. And so I conduct an experimental research on people. I test vaccines, Ebola vaccines on people, and I see it works. I see that it works. And so I'll apply the results. I will now use the vaccines. And so that is the difference between applied and basic research. And then let's look at descriptive research. We say that normally it is carried out to describe current issues, programs, and provide information about issue, surveys, and various fact-finding methods. Descriptive studies, descriptive research are more into current issues. And so you, the researcher, cannot control the variables. And so most of the time you only report about current situations and how the occurrences are. So you just describe the issues. And here with analytical, you can use existing data or existing knowledge or facts, and then you evaluate. you evaluate. And so it's more of when somebody wakes up and say that all fat people like food. Fat people like food. You can go the analytical research way and then try to analyze the fat critically so that you can evaluate and then come out with a verifiable knowledge. And so explanatory research is also conducted to know why and how two or more variables are interrelated. And so those two, you can conduct an experimental experiment so that it will help you to know the effect of the changes with regards to the variables. And then with exploratory research, you conduct it to understand the nature of a problem where you go in depth. Like using Nicholas's example, maybe, yes, Nicholas is interested in looking at in depth of the factors that contribute to the surgical wound infections in the community. He's interested in delving deeper into the community-related factors. And so he will explore. It will afford him the opportunity to cover in depth, to research more into the situation. Or sometimes exploratory research is also used to conduct research on topics that have little or have not been studied before, so that you go deeper into that. And so if you are looking at it from the mode of inquiry, I told you that we have the qualitative and the quantitative. We'll talk about those methods thoroughly. And so the simple thing that I will tell you is that qualitative is based on quality and it looks in depth into then the quantitative. Then the quantitative is associated with aspects of measurement and it follows a statistical, mathematical, and computation techniques. And so quantitative research deals with numerical data such as percentages and other statistics. Any questions at this point? Any questions at this point? We've looked at basic research. We've talked about applied research. Yes, Asiliga.
Madam, please, if you can explain again the qualitative and then the quantitative research.
Asiliga, when I was talking, I said, this is an introduction phase. You have a whole unit sitting down for research method, qualitative and quantitative. And so when we get there, we can actually take deep. I'm doing an introduction and I don't want to bombard people's head with a lot of stories. This is the basis. But then just know that qualitative is that type of research that deals with words and not numeric data. At least if you get this, you build on when we get to unit 4, where we discuss qualitative research method proper. And so the difference between the qualitative research and the quantitative research for this small shot is that quantitative research deals with numeric data and qualitative research deals with non-numeric data. At least hold this in your thoughts so that when we are building on in the unit 4, we build coming from the numeric and non or contributions. Yes, Gideon.
Sister, please, can we say that when we conduct
Gideon,
research
your hand
on...
is up. You have been given the opportunity to talk. You are not unmuting yourself.
Sister, please, can you hear me? Please, can you hear me? Please, can you hear me?
Gideon, talk.
Sister, please, can you hear me?
Gideon, speak.
Please, can we say that when we conduct a research on diabetes and hypertension, we can have an explanatory research looking at how they are interrelated?
I don't even understand your question.
When you spoke about explanatory research, you made mention of how...
So please come again, because you either swallowed half of the question or information was distorted. So
please,
ask
sister,
again.
I was saying that when we do a research on diabetes mellitus and hypertension, which is HPT, looking at how they are interrelated, can we say that we can have an explanatory research on that? Please, can you hear me?
Whoever heard him should repeat it for us, because me, I'm not hearing.
Then my network.
Hello, sister. Mr. Gideon is saying, based on the interrelation between hypertension and that of diabetes mellitus, that can you do explanatory research on it?
You two, you didn't hear. And you are coming to confuse us. Kaliona.
Yes, sister.
Gideon, you can put the question on the research WhatsApp platform, and then we can discuss it from there. And so, on that note, this morning we tried looking at what research is. We defined it from the sociologist viewpoint, where L. Robert Barbie said that it is a systematic inquiry where you can look at the research from the deductive and inductive approach. Then we also established that research is a systematic, logical, and empirical inquiry, which will give you a verifiable results, verifiable knowledge. And so we said that research tries to help us find answers to new problems and understand existing problems, or we go into it as a mere curiosity, or to also broaden our knowledge base. And then we also established that there are types of research where research can be viewed from the application perspective, from the aims of the research, from the inquiry, and then from so we have the inquiry, the mode of inquiry, we have the application, we have the aim of the research, and then we have, let's look at the last one. Let's look at the last one. So we have the inquiry, and then the research approach. The research approach. And so we said that for the application, we have the basic and the applied, and the basic research is just a primary research to increase knowledge base, and the applied is the knowledge, the basic research or the primary research is built on for the applied, and then solutions are given. Then we also looked at it from the aim of the research, and then we said the research can be descriptive, explanatory, exploratory, and then analytical. And then going forward, we also said that with the mode of inquiry, it can be either qualitative, which deals with non-numeric data, or quantitative, that deals with numeric data. And finally, we looked at it from the research approach, and then we looked at it from the research approach. And so we said that the research can be longitudinal research, cross-sectional research, conceptual research. And so on that note, we draw the curtain on today's lecture. And please, you have your course outline. If you don't know what you want to ask for, don't test me anything here. Go to your platform. You see things there. If you are ignorant of things, don't come and test. I said in the university, reading is part of the course. And so make sure you read. Thank you all for your wonderful participation and interactions. We meet next Saturday to further discuss briefly about the research with regards to the research approach. We'll talk about the cross-sectional, the longitudinal, and the conceptual research. And then we will zoom in to Unit 2, where we discuss the research process. Enjoy your weekend. Have a nice day. and stay focused until we meet next Saturday. Bye-bye.